Both China and the United States said they accept fabricated advance at barter talks amid the two countries in Switzerland. The U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent declared the discussions as productive and constructive, while China's Vice Premier He Lifeng said the talks were in-depth and candid. The White House alleged it a trade deal but gave no added details. A collective account with abounding capacity is accepted on Monday. The brace were a Feinstein backstairs closed-door discussions all weekend. In the Aboriginal affair back U.S. Admiral Donald Trump levied abrupt tariffs adjoined China on its appurtenances entering America in January. The talks were the Aboriginal contiguous affairs mid the two countries back Admiral Trump imposed a 145% assessment on Chinese imports, with Beijing responding with a 125% burden on some U.S. goods. The huge tariffs acquired agitation in the banking markets and sparked fears of an all-around recession. In an amusing media post, the U.S. Admiral declared the talks as actually very good and said change had been negotiated in a friendly but constructive manner. We appetite to see, for the acceptable of both China and the U.S., an aperture up of China to American business. Great progress made, Trump added. On Friday, before the talks began, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said Washington would not lower tariffs unilaterally, and China would charge to accomplish its own concessions. Both abandoned issued assorted added warnings advanced of the meeting, with Beijing adage the U.S. charge affluence tariffs, while Bessent fatigued that the focus was on de-escalation and this was not a big barter deal. Chinese accompaniment media appear that Beijing had absolutely to a point with the U.S. afterwards absolutely because all-round expectations, the country's interests and appeals from American businesses. Last month, the BBC began that Chinese exporters were disturbing with the U.S.'s tariffs. One company, Sabo Technology, appeared that bisected of its articles were commonly awash to the U.S. and were now sat in boxes in a barn in China. Meanwhile, the U.S. abridgment shrank in the Aboriginal 3 months of the year, application at an anniversary amount of 0.3%, as firms race to get appurtenances into the country. The barter war amid China and the U.S. agitated. After most ages afterwards, Admiral Trump appeared accepted baseline assessment on all imports to the United States on what he alleged Liberation Day. Around 60 trading partners, which the White House declared as the worst offenders, were subjected to college ante than others. The account included China and the European Union. Trump said this was after effect for years' account of arbitrary barter behavior for the U.S. He additionally alone appear a 25% acceptation tax on all animate and aluminium advancing into the U.S., and a added 25% assessment on all cars and car parts. It was appear after most anniversary, at the U.S. and UK had agreed a deal, in which the 25% assessment will be cut to 10% for a best of 100,000 UK cars, analogous the cardinal of cars the UK exported after most year. Following the cessation of the 2-day talks in Geneva, U.S. barter administrative agent Jameson Greer said the accord we addled with our Chinese partners would advise abate the U.S.'s $1 to £901 billion barter deficit. Desson said the U.S. and China had fabricated substantial progress on de-escalating the barter war. While Vice Premier he said the talks were of abundant acceptation to the two countries, but additionally accept an important apples on the adherence and development of the all-around economy. Vice Premier he said the two abandoned had accomplished the alternation of aloft consensuses, and had additionally agreed to authorize an bread and butter and barter appointment mechanism. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, ambassador accepted of the World Barter Organization, alleged the talks a cogent footfall forward and apprenticed both countries to build on this momentum. Stocks in Anchorage, China and Hong Kong rose on Monday, while U.S. banal markets are additionally accepted to accessible college-backed trading starts later. The Chinese currency, the yuan, adequate to join the U.S. dollar. Frank Lavin, aloft Undersecretary for All-Embracing Barter at the U.S. Department of Commerce, told the BBC's Business Today program he accepted the two countries to cut tariffs although they would abide way aloft actual norms. Andrew Wilson, the agent secretary accepted of the All-Embracing Chamber of Commerce, said the accepted assessment levels bear to be bargained substantially. While he said the comments from the weekend were very positive, if tariffs remained aloft 20%, that would still be acutely confusing to all-embracing barter flows. I anticipate we charge to be ambience 30% as a benchmark, alluring activity bottomward appear 20%. Deborah Elms, Arch of Barter Action at the Hinrich Foundation, said the alleged alternate tariffs could be addressed, but apparently not. "I anticipate mostly what I apprehend is an exceeding to accumulate talking," she said on the BBC's Newsday program. On Saturday, afterward the Aboriginal Day of Talks, Trump had accepted the total reset on the accord amid the two countries.